Welcome to the First Customers Podcast. Today we've got JK Molina with us. JK, give us a little background, man.
What's up, Paris? So for everybody who's just joining, I'm in Paris maybe like 3 minutes ago. We're just chatting. So we're right off the cuff. We're just hitting the ground running, So we're just starting out. But
That's right.
what's up? Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the First Customers Podcast. A little bit about who I am. I'm JK Molina. Built TweetHunter from zero to $1.5 million a year in 15 months using just Twitter. First business I ever started was selling perfume door to door. I became a VA. Then I built this business, right, which is kind of the what people think about when they think about me, right? So
yeah,
TweetHunter, all Twitter, and so whatever you need, let's just answer some questions today, right?
Yeah. So you said you started out selling perfume. Is that right?
I did, yeah, door to door.
Okay, tell us a little more about that.
You ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of very similar. You know how Walt talks to Jesse and he's like, "Yeah, let's cook meth," right?
Yeah.
So my math teacher, he used to like sell bootleg perfume, by the way, and this is in Guatemala, right? So I'm born and raised in Guatemala, still live here, and there were like the common way to make money here. Maybe in America it's the same, but you go through high school, then you kind of get an engineering, law, or medicine degree, and then just make like $1,000 or $2,000 a month, and that's kind of it. So my math teacher was like super against it, right? And he goes like, "No, I'm selling perfume because I'm an entrepreneur." So we graduate, and there's like this gap between when we graduate and when we're going to start college. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, maybe like if that dude can do it, I can do it, right? So what I did was I went to my grandma and I asked her like, "Grandma, do you have some plants that smell like something?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I got these lemon smelling plants," and I got this mortar, like crushed it, then I put it on alcohol, and that's kind of how you make perfume with glycerin. So I was like, horrible perfume, like terrible perfume, like I wouldn't recommend it because then if you spray it, it would stain your clothes like forever. It was horrible.
Wow.
But I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go and like try to go door to door. And I went door to door, sold a few perfumes, mostly to old ladies, very hungry market. That is a market you're going for. You want to sell perfume, don't go to men, go to women.
But it was perfume that you personally made.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. So then I understood, dude, like, oh, maybe I don't need to grow my own plants because then you have a supply problem, So then I was like, okay, let me try to get like just the essence. And then I remember I got all these essences and different things, and I dropped one of them in my room. And like for like 2 months, my entire like teenager dude room smelled like tutti frutti. Like strawberry things. I still remember that. That was horrible.
Not the vibe you're going for.
Yeah, not exactly the macho guy, you know what I mean? So that's how I started. But then I got some money, a little bit, and then that allowed me to. I was in college studying engineering, right? And then I realized like, man, I'm not learning business. I really liked business, right? So let me get some business classes at night. So I got some money from that, and then I borrowed from my family, and I enrolled in business classes. And at that point, I remember there was like all the business classes were like horrible, but there was this one dude that showed marketing, but like direct response marketing, which might be interesting to your audience and you too, which is like, don't bother about branding, don't bother about the long-term thing, just get a customer. And I liked it. And I got like, it made sense to me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, cool. And at the time I was like the Gary Vee fan, it's like, just get a mentor. No, Ty Lopez fan, dude. Sorry. Ty Lopez. He's all about like Lamborghini, get a mentor, right? Kind of stuff. Yeah. So I asked him, like, dude, like, can you be my mentor? Like, can I work for you? Right? He said, yeah, I got a job they didn't pay me, so it wasn't a job, it was an internship at this real estate thing. And I was kind of learning the ropes of real estate, kind of how landing pages work, how lead gen work, what a lead is, and all that stuff. But that's
Did you say you were working with Ty Lopez?
No, No. I was
Oh,
a
you were
top
just.
of his fan, you know. I
Oh,
was
okay.
working for this dude that came to give a class at the university at night.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now get us into, all right, how did you start to get the ideas for and start to think about starting your business that you ended up selling?
Yeah, well, we have to go a little bit back on that one, right? So
All right.
I was a Gary Vee fan, and then he was talking
Gotcha.
about just content, just produce content, right? You know how he says content, just make
Right.
content, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then I was started producing content on Twitter because that was kind of the platform I liked. I started growing this following, but I got to like maybe 10,000 followers or something, and I realized like there's people like with 1,000 followers just stacking cash, and I'm not, right? And I was kind of like, man, like what's the following for if I'm not making money? And then I saw this tweet, but this guy named Lawrence, and Lawrence said the Gillette social media manager is paid $80,000 to tweet. Now, if you check the Gillette social media, they get like 3 or 4 likes per tweet. It's horrible. It's really bad, right? At 130,000 followers, this is a multi-billion-dollar brand.
Right.
Like 3 likes, you know, I get more likes, right?
Yeah.
So then he said, like, imagine how much it would pay you if you didn't suck at your job. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? I can make that happen. Now, at the time, I was a VA making $250 a month, and then I thought, man, 80K a year. I was making 3K a year, and I thought, man,
Wow.
like that's a shit ton of cash, right? Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now in Guatemala, that's like normal side. What's it called when it's not full time, part time? Part time. It was a good part time salary, right? So
$3K a year.
$3K a year, yeah. So
Yeah.
$250 a month. Yeah, that's kind of standard here for part time.
Okay.
But I was there, and I thought, yeah, fuck it, right? So I remember I was making 250, and there was this course that was 255 on copyright, and I'm
Wow.
thinking, man, I'm gonna drop my monthly salary in this thing. Holy
Right.
shit, yeah. And I'm thinking like, okay, fuck it, let's go. So I learned a lot in the copywriting, but the biggest thing I learned was that course included a lot of templates on cold DMs and cold outreach and how to talk to people, right? And at the time, I was of the, I don't know, school of thought of that you need to create financial projections. You need a huge MVP. You know, you need to run a huge Facebook ads campaign and raise money from friends and family, all that thing. But there comes this guy that says, no, dude, you know, like you just DM people, talk to them, just DM them. Like you have an advantage because like if I have 100,000 million followers, whatever, and you have 0 followers, we still have the same DM button, right? We still have the same playing field, you know? So I thought, you know what? Yeah, let me DM people. So I started going hard every day, DMs, just, hey, would you be interested in this? Hey, would you be interested in this?
And what were you selling at this point?
I was selling ghostwriting for people because he said that, remember the social media guy, the Gillette guy? It was, well, social media management, right? Just ghostwriting. Right. And I thought, like, what can I sell? And I was selling like $15 logos that I got from Fiverr to be done for $5. And then Fiverr charged you a $2 fee, so it was really $7. And I was making $8 profit. And I realized this shit's not sustainable. This is not going to work, right? But then there comes this guy. You can charge $2,000 for a ghostwriter. So I said, no way. But what other option did I have? So I believed, and I started DMing people. And my DM was kind of fishy because the first DM was, hey, Paris. So it would be a Google Doc with your name on it, tweets for Paris. And then it would be, you could see that I typed words on the Google Doc, but it was blurred, right? Now, everybody got the same message, and I didn't write tweets. I didn't write anything. I just blurred it. So I said, hey, Paris, I wrote 5 tweets for you, dedicated to you. You're free to use them. It's bullshit, right? I didn't. I just wanted to get responses, right? You know,
so you're pre-selling.
Yeah, in a way. I was like showing them like, hey, I wrote these tweets for you. And if you replied and you wanted to see them, then I got to write. But before it was kind of the illusion, right? In the beginning, I saw one tweet from Callicrates on Twitter that I really liked. In the beginning, you need to make white lies about your ability to execute. As in like, hey, can you do this? And because it's the first customer, then you gotta go like, absolutely, dude, I can do it. You end the Zoom call and then you go like, fuck, how do I do this? And then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you got, and there's a good book on this. I think it's when I stop talking, you'll know I'm dead by Jerry Weintraub. So the thing is, he's like losing steam. Like everybody is like, he used to be famous, and then in New York, like in the '60s or something, and then he was kind of losing steam, and people were not paying attention to him. It's like, fuck, what do I do? But in comes this opportunity, and then this big record calls Jerry. It's like, yo, Jerry. So what? Yo, I heard Elvis Presley's in town. Can you get him? And the guy's just like, this is my shop. Right? This is what I can do. And he goes like, absolutely, I can get you Elvis Presley. Don't worry about it. Bullshit. So he hangs up. He trades in every single favor he can to get Elvis Presley. And he gets it, right? So at the beginning, I did that. I told like white lies about my ability to execute. Eventually, this one dude said, hey, let's see it. And I remember I was cooking breakfast. When he responded, I dropped everything. I go to my laptop. I start writing tweets for him. And like that was the one thing I knew how to do at the time, writing tweets. Like that was the one skill, right? And I sent it to him. He was like, oh, those are interesting. Let's hop on a call. Got him on a call. Now, people told me you need to charge at least $2,000 for your service, right? And if you're listening to this, I think I can contribute with selling services, especially clients, coaching services. Not that much on info products and low ticket stuff. Like I don't think I have much credibility there, so I wouldn't listen to myself on that. But clients and the other things, I did my fair bit of suffering. So maybe you can learn a few things. But anyway, I got him on a call. You're supposed to charge $2K, but I got nervous. And I was like, man, nobody's paying me $2K. That's 2/3 of a year's salary. It's like, fuck that. I'm not charging. Like even if I said it, I know like my voice would have cracked, you know? So
where were they located? You were in Guatemala. Where were they?
They were in California.
Potential client.
Like the guy was loaded.
Okay.
Like the guy had money, you know, but I didn't understand how much money, you know? But anyway, I got him on a call, and in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to charge him $2,000. I'm going to charge him $750. Okay. And I'm going to offer a payment plan. Check this out. A payment plan instead of $50 service, right? That's how bad it was. And then I was like, okay, fuck it, let's go. So I got him a call. I remember when it was time to drop the price, I remember I was in the middle of my presentation. I prepared like a really cool presentation for him. He stops in midway and I was like, dude, I'm sold. Like, how much is it? Right? He could tell I was an amateur. And then I was going to say $750. And I remember I choked and I was like, it's $700. But we have a payment plan. Don't worry about it. Do you want to split it?
So you were kind of unselling yourself right away.
Oh God, dude, I was just like all the mistakes ever. Like, I wish I recorded that. Now that I look at it. But anyway, he said like, no, it's fine. He'll probably spend that in lunch that day. Dude. But it's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And we hang up. And he didn't pay. He paid like 3 days after. But I remember I was in a horror ride with my dad, and then I was telling him about this dude. Like he ghosted me. I was so like discouraged. And then the PayPal thing comes through, and they took a fee. It was really like $670 or something. But dude, that was to me the most hype I've ever been on any notification of any money of anything ever, because to me, that was that first belief. It like made me believe, like, man, if I did it once, I can do it twice, right? So all these things, all these, like, I did a huge amount of work. I absolutely sold my time. I absolutely applied no leverage, but it happened. And that one first, it gave me belief. And after that belief, I kind of knew that I could go for the rest.
Yeah. And so that was your first like online money that you'd made at that point.
Now, my first online money was, the Fiverr logos. I remember
Okay,
that.
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to hear the story on that?
Sure.
Yeah. So there was this big dude on Twitter, Chris Johnson. He had like 70,000 followers at the time. And Chris Johnson, I don't know if anybody knows him. He's like, for me, on Twitter, he's the guy with the best branding, consistent voice, consistent branding, knows exactly who he's talking to. It's just outstanding the quality of branding Chris Johnson has. So I was like, man, I gotta have him as an ally. I understood. I was you know how the 48 laws of power, like get a master, like just use his his clout. I was like, yeah, let's do that, right? So I remember I got a picture of him. I downloaded it and I go to Fiverr and I'm spending this $7. And I remember Paris. I negotiated the $2 fee. I was like, is there any way we can not pay the $2 fee? Because God. So I did that. And anyway, I did end up paying for that, but I got the logo of somebody that drew it on Fiverr. It was like this cool cartoon looking face. Then I sent it to him. I was like, hey, I did this for you. Like, I didn't even say I got it from Fiverr. I just said I did it for you. Like, I did it for you. And thank you for everything. This is my Twitter if you want to check it out. If not, no worries. And guy retweets me at 70,000 followers. And at the time I see that.
Wow.
And I remember I didn't, like, it was so hard to like sleep because every time I refreshed, like new notification, I was like, holy shit, this is real. And then other were saying, hey, do you do logos? And again, I was like, of course I do logos, dude. Of course, I'm the logo guy. Of course, right? It's bullshit. And then they hit me up and I go like, yeah, this logo is $15. I said, oh, that's fine, right? And I made my $8 profit on that. And I was like, man, I can do this again. And I did it again, and I did it again. And
Did you
eventually,
raise
like,
prices as you went?
I the most I did was like $50, and it felt dirty. It felt like I was
That's
like,
crazy.
man, I'm doing weird. This is not the Lord doesn't like this. You know what I mean? Like,
because you weren't
but
selling like an agency service. You were saying that I'm literally designing your logo directly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it wasn't completely honest. It wasn't honest. Let's just be honest. But yeah, that was first dollar online. Was that, or either it was this one guide. So I had my like this PDF on social skills because I wanted to become a dating account, right? Like
Okay.
like a game pickup guy.
Right.
And then I had this lead magnet on like social skills. And on the platform I had it, which is Gumroad, you could either download it for free or people could give you a tip. So I remember too. This one dude, I was chilling in my living room. This one dude gives me $5. And I jump. I'm like, holy shit, it's real. And it's like, let's go. I go downstairs right to the chicken store that's next to where I live, and I bought a burrito. And that was the best damn burrito I've ever had in my life. It was awesome. I remember that. Now, it took me like 6 months to get the money home because if you're in Latin America, it's easier to make money than it is to bring the money home. So the bank's bullshit, but
Okay. Yeah.
it was so hype. Like it was great. That's what happened. Yeah, that's the sort of the first
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So what was the problem that your business that you ended up building solved?
Yeah. So that's yeah. So we were leading up to that, and I didn't land right.
Okay.
So no, I forgot to land. I was like,
oh, my bad.
No, it was me. It was my bag. Because I remember you asked about it, and I was like, no, there's a little backstory, but I never got to a real story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the real business is called TweetHunter. So at the time, I started growing on Twitter. I just started growing, and then this I started growing like as a ghostwriter. That was like kind of my reputation. I was gonna ghostwrite, and then this guy named Thibaut, he DMs me. He's like, dude, we created this tool. It's called TweetHunter. So what TweetHunter does is it really the way I write is I copy a lot and I emulate what they say, and then I kind of you say it with my own experiences. For example, you guys have seen you've probably seen many times the tweet or the phrase that says, "I would rather make $50,000 a month working for myself than $100,000 a month working for somebody else." You've seen that shit 10,000
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, uh, the way I write is I look at what's already hitting, like that one, like there's a reason why it's popular, and I'll change it to something that's me. Like, for example, I would rather build 1,000 followers that are original than 10,000 followers who kind of like what I have to offer.
Gotcha.
Right? You know what I mean? So
Okay.
the way TweetHunter worked is it inspired you with other viral tweets. Like, hey, here are the viral tweets. This is
Okay.
the wrapping that works. Now, all that's left for you is this is already engaging. Turn it into a good tweet with your frameworks, right? So they allow you to steal like an artist, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was using Notion, Google Docs, Google Drive, and Zapier kind of for it. So like 4 apps. TweetHunter did it in one. So just from the get go, I was hooked. I was like, man, this is awesome. So I remember Thibaut asked me to try for 1 month, right? And I'm gonna get one like for 1 month for free. And I remember I looked at it and I'm like, I don't want one. I want equity on this thing. Now there was a big jump, right? And here's where the first guy comes in. Remember the $700 guy, the one I choked on the call? So I go up to him because he's like still one of the richest dudes I know, and I'm like, dude, I have this opportunity. How do you structure the deal? I've seen this in Shark Tank. And he tells me like, oh, this is how it works. This is how you structure deals. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So I go up and ask them, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. And eventually we ended up partnering up because they had an awesome product and no audience. I had a huge audience, no product. So it was kind of the builder seller dynamic, you know. So we partner up. I was making a few dollars a month, and then we partner up and just launched to the audience. And because it was kind of a good fit of grow on Twitter, that's what I built my audience on. We reached like maybe from 4K to 14K MR in like 2 months. It was great.
Did they already have customers, or were they like pre-launch when they were letting you test it out, or had they already launched?
They had some customers. They were making a few $100 a month. Yeah.
But you helped them scale from 4K to how much?
To 14K, and then kind of how the deal was structured. If that's interesting to your audience, I was going to unlock equity as we reach new revenue levels, right? Yeah. So like I was going to unlock this much at $10,000 a month, this much at 15, this much at 25, right? That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
And so we were putting it up. We both had the incentive to grow the thing. And now it makes like $140,000 a month, $150,000 a month, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the story of it, really.
Yeah. So was the main way that you grew it, is it just continually putting it out to your audience on Twitter?
Yeah. I always say that these guys operate the business. I operate the show business. So my job was looking pretty on camera and directing people to TweetHunter, making people click on stuff. Right. Nice. Their job was fulfillment, retention, application, talking to people, customer support, all the everything. Right.
Yeah.
My job was making people click on things.
So it's like they had almost like they had an exclusive affiliate deal with you, or did they also leverage other like affiliates to help them launch or get into new audiences?
At this time, there weren't any affiliates involved. Not relevant revenue was coming from affiliates, if you compare to the other ones. Like most of it was from me just bringing my audience into it.
Wow.
You know? Now, that was super cool. But if you want to go like back to the title of the podcast, the first customers, I wouldn't recommend it because that's software. That's SaaS. Software is complex. Software's hard. Like I always tell people, you should start with service businesses because it allows you to serve $2,000 stuff, $3,000 stuff, or in my case, $700 stuff, right? But don't make my mistake. Don't choke. Say it with confidence. But
Yeah.
it allows you to sell big ticket items. And honestly, like the thought process somebody has between a $200 purchase and a $2,000 purchase is kind of the same. If you can show them that and prove to them that they're going to make more money with you than they pay you, then they're going to give you $200 or $20,000 or $2,000, right?
Right.
So I always recommend people start with service businesses because it's just very little risk. You can start fast. You can whip out a landing page today. You can start sending DMs today. There you go. You have a business, right? And I like to start with that because of how little it costs to fuck up.
That makes sense.
And not as in like how hard it is to fuck up, because it's very easy to fuck up, but how little consequences you will have if you fail. Because what happens if you fail? Well, so what? You sent a few DMs, you spent a couple bucks on the landing page on the logo. Like,
yeah,
it's not gonna kill you. Whereas if you spend
thousands,
like your entire cash on a software, right?
Yep.
That is gonna kill you. I told the people at TweetHunter, guys, before we sell, I do not want to know what programming language this is written in. Don't tell me. I don't know. I don't know what programming language the code, and I run it. I'm the owner of it. I don't know what programming language is written on because I wanted to make that the economy. So it's complex. I got incredibly lucky, and I'm incredibly blessed to have an outstanding teams in product and development. Like, these guys are world class at what they do. Now, that was my 15th business. Like, there's many things that failed, but the one that did well was the one that started was the ghostwriting. That's a service business, and I recommend that's where people start.
So how would you get more customers for the ghostwriting business? It was just pure cold DMs?
Pure cold DMs, man. Like, the way I like to look at this is you go, if you really want to get customers, like if you want to achieve certain goals, you already know what you need to do. Like, let's take losing weight, for example. Right. So you want to drop weight? Well, you kind of already know what to do. Just eat less and run more. And that's it. There you go.
Right.
Solution, right?
Yeah.
You want to, I don't know, you want to get a girlfriend? To dress well, get in shape, go talk to more women. Right? There you go. You want to make money, craft an offer, and talk to more people about it. So I feel like people don't have a strategy problem. The strategy is actually pretty straightforward, Paris. It's just find an offer, pick a good market, and talk to people every day. And eventually you're going to land one, right? People don't have a strategy problem. They have an execution problem. They just don't stick to it. They don't do it. So the way I like to look at service business client acquisition, it's you go fast on the pedal, but slow on the wheel, right? You go hard on what you know you need to do. The outreach, 20 messages a day, 50 messages a day, 100 messages a day, right? You go hard on crafting the offer. You go hard on finding a good market and posting content consistently. But on the wheel, you don't change it. Because you know that if you stick to not eating and working out, you're going to get fit. And you know that if you stick to crafting a good offer, picking a good market, actually doing lead gen, you're going to make money. What happens is we get impatient. What happens is we get desperate. We think that we need to speed something up when in reality we should actually just control our impulses and not change the plan. The only way you can fuck the plan up is by changing it.
Yeah, so stick to the process that you know works.
Yeah, man. Fast on the pedal, slow on the wheel.
I like that. So it sounds like there's a potential service business or an info product or something like that you're kind of tiptoeing around, or maybe you already have something like that for people trying to get a service business started and like laying out the steps or the philosophy that you have there. Do you have something like that where you describe like how you've done this, and so kind of turning that into a template to sell to others?
I used to. I don't target people anymore because I don't target
Gotcha.
starters anymore. And with all due respect, like let's just like I was broke too. Like I made zero money. Like I negotiated a
Mhm.
$2 fee. Like come on, I've been there. Yeah, I know, right? So I
Right.
just realized that
Yeah.
the way you think when you make when you have made $0 online, and the way you think when you made $1 online is black and white. It's night and day. It's completely different from $0 to $1. It's not even close. So a lot of those lessons are very, I don't know, they're very spiritual, they're very emotional, they're very hard to learn without doing. So I used to target people who didn't make any money online. Now I don't. I only target people who have at least 2,000 followers. They already have an audience and they encountered the same problem I encountered, which is I have this audience, I have all these likes, comments, and retweets and story shares or whatever, but I'm not making any money. What do I do? So now what I do exclusively, only that, it's I show people with more than 2,000 followers how to monetize their existing audience, and I take them to 30K a month. That's called
Okay.
tweets and clients. That's what I do. Yeah. No beginners.
Okay. And so Tweet Hunter, that project ended up selling, and so you cashed out of that project altogether.
I did. Yeah. So that
Cool.
ended up selling. It again, dude, if you ask me about M&A, equity, VC, acquisitions, I don't know shit. Like I was blessed. I was blessed with a great team, and they just told me like, "Hey, like we've been doing our due diligence. This is a price. You in?" And honestly, it was cheaper than I was expecting. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't. I thought I was going to sell it. I thought I was going to sell it for more, obviously. But I understand that game is complex, and SaaS is complex, and
Yeah.
my there were a few things. If you ask my team, they're going to tell you a few things. Maybe my heart wasn't in it. I kind of got lazy at the end, and I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, it's not the biggest thing, but I don't know where I read it, but it's like better to exit early than to never exit. You know, so I'm like, you know what,
Yeah.
we have this offer on the table. I can take the money, like I appreciate it, and fuck it, let's go. So we took the money, and now I just go hard and fix some clients.
Awesome. So how many years were you involved with Tweet Hunter,
One
and when did it sell?
August or September, actually
This.
less than one, so it was like 11 months, 11 months or 12 months.
Wow. All right. And so that was 2022 it sold?
It sold in 2022. Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, that's what happens.
Perfect timing, it seems like to me, because especially with AI tools that are coming online now, Chat GPT and other stuff, it sounds like might start creeping into that kind of a market where if you're trying to figure out, hey, what's another way to say this thing or what's some popular things in this area, it could start to eat up some of the market share from tools like that.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. Like I don't
Yeah.
know enough about that, but I will say what prevented us, like what happened. So when we got to maybe like a million to 1.2 million a year, there was a point in which just acquiring more customers wasn't going to cut it. The game became making every customer more valuable. It was retention and upselling. Okay. So two things happened there because I'm not the CEO. Well, I wasn't the CEO. I was the CMO.
Right.
But two things happened there. One, I kind of got lazy in the beginning. My heart wasn't in it. And two, I didn't have the skill set at the time to grow the company to what it could be. Like I generally was incompetent at what needed to be done at the next step. Right. So I got lazy, didn't learn the next step. So I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't take the next step, you know? And obviously that revealed itself in the dashboard and how much money we made. And
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, it was kind of where it, I'm not talking about TweetHunter. I'm talking about Molina's involvement in TweetHunter. It was kind of going downhill. So before it got worse, I feel like not only the AI thing, which has a point, but I didn't see it going better with me at the steering wheel. So
Yeah.
to me, it was a good idea to it was good timing to just quit, because I honestly, at my current skill set, at my current level, I don't think I could have scaled it much. I think we actually needed somebody else's eyes or involvement.
That's good to have that kind of self-awareness. And I've seen that myself in different roles where you realize, okay, the best thing for the project is probably for me to fire myself and find a better replacement who could take it from here, whether it's from interest or skill level.
Dude, 100%. The other day I was running my own podcast with this guy called Nib. So Nib worked with this fund of he's invested like $200 million. It's crazy money, right? And then he got on a podcast. I'm like, dude, like, you want to learn Twitter from me? Like, bro, you should teach me. You should teach me, right? Anyway, we started talking, and I asked him, okay, so you met billionaires, you made amazing founders, amazing entrepreneurs. What is one trait that you feel like stands above, like makes the best the best? And he goes like, you can see like the engines turning in his head, right? It's like, well, it's self-awareness. It's knowing when you don't have the skills to continue. So he told the story about this very competent CEO, very good at what he did, multi-million-dollar company, and he's with Niv. Niv is the investor, so he calls him to the side and he goes, Niv, I need to tell you something. We got a problem. And it's worrying, like, man, are you going to ask me for more money? And we've already invested so much time. Are you quitting? Are you going to die? Whatever. It's like, no, we need a CEO. And mind you, the guy's good at what he does. We need a CEO. And Niv goes, dude, you are the CEO. What do you mean? And he's like, no, like, I understand. But on my current skill set, I'm best at product. We need somebody who's more competent than me at CEO, because I'm not giving the company what it needs. And he mentioned that changed the way he sees entrepreneurs, because like it takes a lot of ego, calmness to be able to say, hey, I'm not the CEO, yourself, that hurts. But he said that's what stood up to me. I thought he was going to say competitiveness. I thought he was going to say like this anger, but he said self-awareness, which to me was one of the most interesting things we talked about.
Yeah, because if your goal is to grow a business, then it has nothing to do with your personal involvement necessarily, because the best version of that business might be you sit on the sideline, putting all the best players in place and let them do their job.
Yeah, it depends on what you want, really. Like,
yeah.
I realized with TweetHunter and Tweets and Clients, I'm not exactly the best CEO. I'm good at show business. There's other people good at business. So I worked really well with operators, with analytic guys, which is my new partner. His name's Ryan. He's about operations, systems, and we just work great together, because he just tells me, like, JK, I just need you to book calls. Just book calls and show up to, the cohort. I'm like, got it. I got it. I have no idea how the things run. Like, he does it, right? But it works well because I can partner up with him in that way. So
you focus on your strength.
I will say though, if you want to get your first customer, and like, I don't think you need a co-founder. I don't think you need a partner. I just think you just need to talk to more fucking people. You just talk to more people. Get a yes, and then figure out how to get the yes. How to get a yes, and then figure out how to deliver on what you promised.
Nice. And so the current business that you're focused on, is it tweets and clients, you said?
Correct.
Tweets and clients?
Tweets and clients.
All right. So what's the kind of the pitch or the problem that company solves for your customers?
Oh, it's the one where if you have 3,000 at least 2,000 followers, we're going to take you to $30,000 a month via Twitter. You need to be a coach though. So if you're a coach with at least 2,000 followers, we take you to 30K.
A coach. So explain, what do you mean by coach?
Coach is I mean, you're the coaching. You charge at least $2,000 for people. It could be fitness. It could be, I don't know. We got somebody that's an herbalist. He shows people
Okay.
how to make more money with herbs. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I've held a few quit porn coaches. Like it's very broad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This herbalist dude, we got on a call, and I remember the thing that stood out to me the most from him was when he mentioned, I can look at people's tongues and figure out what's wrong with them. I'm like, dude, no fucking way.
And that's the coaching business, is the tongue analysis.
No, that's how he gets you into the door, right? That's kind of the lead back, and then like his stuff is super like high level. Like I was impressed at how much he knew about magnesium. Like for me, I take magnesium at night. Turns out there's like 7 or 8 different types of magnesiums, and they all do different shit, and one like kills you. Like I didn't know, right? Anyway, we're on the call. It's like I could tell, and like it sounds like this astrology. The astrology girls. Oh, you're such a Taurus, right? And they'll tell you everything about being a Taurus. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, come on. And I'm like,
did you have to?
I showed her my tongue.
over a Zoom call or something. You stuck out your tongue.
Yeah. So that is a story of how I showed another man my tongue during a Zoom call. Everybody, first customers podcast. This is what you're here for, right? So I
that's the secret.
Yeah, bro, that's it.
You got to show your tongue to a potential client.
Other men on Zoom calls. That's it. Easy, right? So I did it. Dude, the level of preciseness of which he told me what was wrong with me was outstanding. The guy looked at my tongue, but he was looking at my soul, dude. It was crazy shit. Crazy. But anyway, you said about
just physical, or is it also like character?
No, it was personal. It was emotional, spiritual. Like,
really?
Yeah, I was like,
based
whoa.
on the tongue.
Yeah, because he separates it. Like the tip, I think it's
okay.
Tip he classifies by color. Middle of the tongue he classifies by texture. Weird, but he got it right. Like I gotta give it to the guy. Actually, I don't think he's had a problem with me shouting out. His name is Hector Soriano on Twitter.
Okay.
Hector Soriano. So
there you go.
Yeah, go show him your tongue.
It's always something new. Everybody I talk to, there's always new tactics. And that's definitely first.
So when you mentioned coaching, it's varied. We got fitness coaches. We got tongue. I don't want to say tongue master, but tongue master. we got.
So that's your target market, is just all kinds of coaches with at least that.
With at least that following, because my whole thing is likes and cash. That's like my branding, right? Likes and cash. Because that's what happened to me. I got to 70,000 followers, and then I got on a call with this accountant. This accountant had 900 followers. And at the time, with 70,000, I was making 30K-ish a month. And then I got him on a call with the accountant, and I asked him, the guy has 900 followers too. Like, okay, so how much is the business making? He goes, oh, we made 30K last month with 1/70th of my audience. And I'm thinking, this is bullshit. Like,
now, was he just a regular like accounting service, or was he specifically like an accountant promoting himself on Twitter?
It's an account promoting trusts on Twitter. It's a very specific kind of way in which you can like essentially allows you to pay less taxes, but almost no taxes for some people. Crazy. He does crazy things. So like Kamala Harris and the Rockefellers and like Trump, they all set up something called trusts. Now these trusts, they have these like the tax code is intentionally made so that they're like some are vague enough so that you can kind of pay, right? And there's a certain combination of trust, like there's like 7 variables. There's one certain combination that allows you to like pay no taxes, that you are the only owner, like all the money is completely safe. Like if you're Bezos and you I don't know, Bezos is not a good example. Johnny Depp, if you're Johnny Depp and you marry a psycho, right? She can't take anything from you if Johnny Depp talked to my accountant. It's crazy things, right? Anyway, he had an offer. He was making 30K with 900 followers. And I'm thinking, whoa, how are you making the same amount of money I'm making? So ever since then, I realized, likes ain't cash, right? So it's kind of a lesson you learn when you build a big following and you realize that, you're not making any fucking money. So I teach people who already learned that lesson, that following isn't going to pay the bills. You can't pay bills with likes.
Right. Okay. So how do you end up solving this problem for people? Can you get into a little bit of like, what's the common issue you see? Like, why don't these people know how to grow their accounts themselves, or what are they missing that you help fill in the gaps? And like, how common is that same kind of pattern you see with these type of accounts?
Oh, it goes everywhere, dude. Because like, if I ask somebody like, okay, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, how do you make money from it? 99% of people will tell you, well, you build an audience and then you launch a product, right?
Right.
And then what happens is you end up getting trapped in the engagement form. So instead of talking about things that you are good at, Hayes, you start talking about things that Elon Musk is good at, that Jeff Bezos is good at. So if it goes to correlation, like people correlate the wrong variables. For example, if you eat right and then you work out, you will get in shape. That is a correlation that is correct. Whereas if you build a big following and you will make money, that correlation is false. Because why do people buy? People don't buy because they see you. People buy because they recognize you as an expert at what you do. Right? So a lot of us, we get caught up in the engagement trap. Or we get like, and like, just another tweet. Surely my income is going to change if I just have another viral tweet. Bullshit, it won't. But what I teach people is you don't build an audience and then launch an offer. You craft an offer around what you're best at, and you build the audience around that. And you are upfront from the beginning. Hey, I have something to sell, and let me explain to you why my own frameworks, my own thing, why I am good at what I do, and why no matter how small the sea or river or pond or even a puddle, no matter how small this is, I'm the best at solving that same problem, right? So that's why I teach people. You don't grow the audience and then monetize. You graft the offer and you build the audience around that. We do it backwards.
Awesome. So it's like hyper-focused personal branding, business building around your strengths or your service. So that's what seems to be the model that works. What are some examples maybe of people that try, I guess you've touched on this already a little bit, but things that don't work, where people are in this space and they're trying to do this kind of thing? Maybe are there any common mistakes that you haven't mentioned?
Yeah. The biggest one I feel is not answering the filter through which people, I'm trying to say this right. So this unanswered question if everyone said, which is, why should I listen to you? Like everybody has this in their head. So imagine somebody goes to your profile and there's two types of content, right? Or they see two types of tools. They're both copywriters. One copywriter talks about 10 legendary copywriting tips from Gary Halbert. Fair enough. That might get a few likes. The other copywriter talks about these 10 case studies made my clients this much money. Who are you hiring? The guy who talks about other people's successes, or the guy that talks about what he did, right? So for me, the biggest mistake people make is they don't prove their competence. They don't prove what they're good at. They don't show that no matter what the problem is or how small it is, at least off that small problem, they're the category king. So I'll give you an example. For me, I genuinely believe I'm the best at Twitter monetization above 3,000 followers if you're a coach that sells a wealth service or fitness service, right? Like those are 5 levels deep, right? That is a small ass pond, dude. If you compare it to Walmart, right? But I'm the best at it. Right? That's what people buy, right? And I prove my competence every single day. And people don't prove their competence. They prove other people's competence, what they're good at. So every time I see a thread or a video or a tweet that says, Here at Jeff Bezos, 10 keys to success. Cool. What are your keys to success? And why should I listen to you? Right?
That's good.
That's the biggest one. Like, what people don't prove what they're good at.
Man, dropping some serious gold here. This is
But
good.
I told you, man. I told you. Before we got on this call, I asked him, like, yo, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, I'm on. Let's go.
This is good. It's really good. I'm about sold, man. I just got to get my Twitter followers up so I can hire you one day. So are there any other competitors? You touched on this just now. You said you're the number one. Are you seeing others who are trying to solve this problem that you are in your specific niche?
I don't have competition. I've always believed that, like, deep down. Like, of course there are other tweet schedulers. Like, TweetHunter's not the only one, right? But that belief of I have no competition really allows me to be patient and play longer term games, because social media business is a game in which whoever waits the most wins. And if I look at competition, I get impatient. And if you get impatient, I won't wait. So genuinely believe deep in my heart, I have no competition. And are there other people selling to the same people I am? Maybe, but then they're selling to a different kind of fish. My pond is so small, I'm the only one, you know.
It reminds me of what Naval Ravikant's talked about, like redefine what you do and tell it you're the best in the world at that thing.
Yeah, correct.
It sounds like exactly what you've done. You found that thing where you've redefined exactly what you dominate, to where you can truthfully say, I dominate this specific thing.
Dude, there's this guy on Twitter. His name's Tim. He's in Tweets and Clients. He wrote, it was impressive. He does TikTok management, right? And everybody's talking about how to go viral on TikTok, how to sell more with TikTok. Dude, guy wrote for a week threads on, like, 3 or 4 threads on just how to use pinned TikTok videos to sell more. Just pinned. He went hard on it. Do you recognize how small of a pond that is? Yeah, there's a lot of money there, and a lot of people want it. Yeah.
Wow.
Impressive shit. I was super impressed when I saw that. Yeah.
So you were saying how you prove every day you're the best. You give evidence. Can you give us one example of maybe your biggest win in this company, the Tweets and Clients? One of your biggest wins?
Yeah, I won't give you examples of my wins. I'll give you examples of my clients' wins, because those are the ones that count.
Yeah, there you go.
But 1,500 followers. Michael Hoffman, he came into me. He had this passive income academy, so he was going to show people how to build passive income with vending machines. And he had this offer. We gave him a few tweaks. We gave him a few DM sets. He went to $30K a month. He made $31,000 in 30 days with 1,500 followers. Crazy shit. I was like, yo.
What was he making before? Anything?
He was making 12K. So then it ended up, like, I think 43K total.
So about tripled it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. This guy, Tim, so he was making, he got banned, actually. So he got banned from Twitter. He had like 10,000 followers, got banned, had to restart all over again. He has 3,000 followers now with his new account that he had to start. In 60 days, he grew from 0 to 3K followers and made $30,000 recurring on 30 days. In 60 days. So yeah, those are that's what happens when you're honest about your approach. Like when you are like, hey, no matter the pond, I'm the best at what I do. Because we think that because the pond is small, that means small money, and that is a false belief. It's not true. If the pond is small, there's probably a lot of money.
Right. Clarifies what you offer to the world, so you can attract, I guess, exactly those people that need that thing.
And it's also honest, dude. Like, let's say you want to date a girl. Like, there's two approaches, right? There's the dude on Instagram that likes everything she posts and comments the fire emoji, and then agrees to everything, and then hopefully she'll have sex with you, right? And then it's like one day after 3 years, he'd be like, "Hey, let's grab coffee," right? Yeah, right. That's the audience building approach most people have, right?
Yeah.
Get the goodwill and then like monetize. But then I go with the other approach, which is just being direct. Like, hey, like maybe you see her once and it's like, hey, like I like you. Let's go out. Just being honest. And that allows you to get no's fast, but you get shit ton of yeses fast. It's just more honest. You have this quality audience. And like that's why I don't believe people who just say, hey, I'm here to provide value, bro. I'm just here to network with interesting people. It's bullshit. Bullshit. You're here to make money. Let's just be honest about it, right? So ever since I was honest about my approach and I taught that to people, one is people didn't get shocked when they were trying to monetize because, hey, I kind of told you that in the beginning. Like the girl is shocked when the guy's going for a kiss because he kind of told her he's into her, from the beginning.
Yep.
And two, it's just they become recognized as category kings because they do one thing better than everybody else.
Yeah. You mentioned that one guy got banned. Is that something that you see that people have to be careful about a lot? Or is it just a fluke thing that happens every once in a while? Or
we still don't know why he got banned, but Twitter's weird. There's a few ways. If you're running Twitter ads, don't include any guarantee or promises. You will get banned.
Okay.
It's just bad. Now on Twitter, don't get involved in drama. Don't fight against the left wing. Don't include very controversial tweets, and don't talk about retweets. Don't talk about like undercover stuff. Those will keep you fine. Don't get into fights. Play nice.
Yeah. Focus on just proving your service value.
Yeah, they're just like every time people start fights on Twitter, I already know they're not making money because then you wouldn't be fighting on Twitter.
Right. Yeah, because you got skin in the game if you're actually earning money from it.
Yeah, I saw another great tweet by Callicrates. I just had sex with my smoking hot wife. Time to go complain on Twitter. No, that doesn't happen.
Wow. So, since you started this new business, was that started during TweetHunter, or did you have to wait till after? Or
it was started during TweetHunter. Again, like my heart wasn't in it. I got distracted. Like in the Matrix, the lady with the red dress. Hormozy talks about this. You know how Neo gets distracted by the girl? Like that's what happened. Now, I told my new business partner, like up front, like, dude, I'm going to do just this for 3 years. Are you in it? Because I don't want you to quit like I quit. It's like, yeah, can't quit. We signed a contract. We're good. We're together.
Cool. And this is a service business that could go long term, but right now it sounds like you said you just committed to 3 years. And it, and so is this something you're planning on trying to flip eventually and have another sell type moment, or is this like just kind of seeing how it goes?
Maybe. That'd be cool. To me, it's just I just want to see how much I can grow it, because I have such strong operations with Ryan with me. I know the dude, he can't take the leads. Like, he can't take the business. So it's up to me to get the fucking business. I just want to see how big can it be, honestly. Yeah. And then I'll make a decision when, at my beach mansion someday.
Yeah. Is it, how's the growth rate? How's it looking? Like, are you getting to frequent sales? Are you closing sales well? What's your total number of customers you've served, maybe?
Yeah, we got like 80 people inside now. So we are actually, the revenue has gone down, but the recurring revenue has been good. So before we used to charge $15K up front for the entire thing. Now we changed it. I was like, you know what? Let's focus on recurring revenue instead. So we charge $2K a month. So more people are coming in, and that allows us to have the recurring revenue. And it's nice not having to fight for a sale every month,
Right.
So,
for sure.
It's nice having that. That was Ryan's idea. He said, like the dashboard screenshots are cool, but let's focus on cash flow. Let's focus on.
Yeah.
So that was Ryan's doing.
And so have your tactics changed? Because you said cold DM a lot up front, And it seems like with your audience that maybe you get some inbound kind of leads coming in.
Yeah, I don't get much inbound as people think.
Really?
And people don't get as much as inbound as people think. What I like to do is I like to go over my own followers and DM people who look qualified. And what I teach people is go to people who have the audience you would like to have.
Okay.
And DM those that look qualified. So you're kind of audience hacking.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. You spend a lot of time with me already, and I really appreciate it. And if you have a few more minutes, I want to just go down a list of a few rapid fire questions about a few common tactics that people use, and you can kind of yes or no whether or not you've used them.
Oh, whether or not I've used them?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Have you used, well, the first one on the list, Twitter? You've already answered that clearly.
I have.
Facebook?
No.
Instagram?
Somewhat. It's just there. But no.
Okay. And this is more in the context of going after customers on these platforms or advertising and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
YouTube
clients, so.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. YouTube, yes, I'm going hard on YouTube because it's also this audience nurturing mechanism. So yeah, I'm going hard on YouTube. JK Molina on YouTube.
LinkedIn.
Yes.
Okay. Pinterest.
No.
Reddit.
No.
Snapchat.
No. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. I don't use it myself. TikTok.
It's kind of there, but no.
Okay. Product Hunt.
Yes, for TweetHunter.
Okay. Medium.
No.
Quora.
No.
Your own separate website or blog outside of Twitter.
Tweetsandclients.com.
There we go. Any other forums or like niche industry sites? Are you active on those?
Not really.
And then a couple other like review based sites. It's more software related, but G2?
No.
Capterra?
No.
Trustpilot?
No. I don't want any of those two.
What about cold calling? I know you do cold DMs, but
I don't do cold calling. Well, I have a setter, so every time somebody drops their phone, I wouldn't call that cold because they're kind of inbound leads. So I don't know how you call that. I call setting, appointment setting.
Okay, so that's more, I guess, qualifying somebody who's already contacted
it's a triage
you.
call, not a cold call.
Okay. Snail mail, like physically mailing things.
No, but that's a good idea.
Okay. Influencer ads.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, I paid for retweets when I was first starting, but yeah.
Okay. Email marketing.
Yes, I have an email list.
Okay. Do you do cold emailing?
I have, actually I'm on the podcast because of it. I have someone sending emails to get me a podcast. Yeah.
That's right. And any kind of advertising, retargeting traffic from your site, that kind of thing.
Next year.
Next year? Okay, cool. Well, that's the list, man. Awesome. That was really insightful to see how you're doing things.
Yeah, it was good to talk.
Any other last words or advice for people out there trying to get something started?
Yeah, just fucking do it. Like,
there we go.
DMs, just talk to people.
Awesome. And if they want to, and if they want to hire you, reach out to you, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm basically a Twitter addict. So go to JK Molina on Twitter at ONE JK Molina, and I'm there. If you have more than 2,000 Twitter followers and you would like to monetize your audience to $30,000 a month, we're there for you.
Awesome. All right. See you next time, guys.
All right.